Hello, this is Rod Ovett, and I bring you Daybreak Devo and these meditations from time to time. Try to bring one a day, and they're available on our Daybreak Devo YouTube site as well as our Facebook pages. So please take the opportunity to listen to any of them that you can and share them with others. And in doing so, we can bring more of the truth to more people and encouragement to our brothers and sisters, and that's a good thing. So thank you very much for all of you that have liked our Facebook. It's very encouraging, and we will continue this work. Today I have something interesting to share. It's found in Daniel chapter 10, where he's having a vision. And he has this vision, and he's suffering through it, and he's overwhelmed. And picking up in verse 8, he says, "So I was left alone, gazing at this great vision. I had no strength left. My face turned deathly pale, and I was helpless. Then I heard him speaking, and I listened to him. I fell into a deep sleep, my face to the ground. A hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees. He said, 'Daniel, you who are highly esteemed, consider carefully the words I am about to speak to you, and stand up, for I have now been sent to you.' And when he said this to me, I stood up trembling. Then he continued, 'Do not be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourselves before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. But the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, because I was detained there with the king of Persia. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the future, for the vision concerns a time yet to come.' While he was saying this to me, I bowed with my face toward the ground and was speechless." And the story continues. But there is something very interesting about this passage. This is full of the supernatural, the stupendous, the spectacular. And it speaks of wars that are waging that we don't even know about. But what I find interesting and encouraging is that here was this angel of God before Daniel, and in very encouraging terms says, "You are highly esteemed." He mentions that God has noted from the very first day his earnestness, noticed his sincerity, his efforts. And that's encouraging, isn't it? God knows when we try. He knows how hard we're working. He understands. And so God sent this angel. He dispatched him immediately, and yet he was held up 21 days. 21 days. Now, it sounds like some horrendous stuff was going on. This satanic type of prince over in Persia holding him up, so much so that they had to call on Michael to help. I mean, that sounds like a fierce battle. Unbeknownst to us, of course. We sit there and try to be patient, waiting 21 days, and God is raging a big, epic battle, and we're not even aware of it. And so many times we mumble a little bit and grumble like we're the most important, like, "Why aren't you here? Why aren't you answering me?" And I think we learn something very interesting from this, that timing is in God's hands. In fact, the entire universe and world and the sustaining of it is in God's hands. We are on the chessboard. We are in the trenches. We are on the battlefield, and we have a job to do. Ours is not to call the shots. Ours is not to have the global view. We're on the ground. We're down at dirt level. God has the global view. He knows when to move troops, when to hold them, when to put them in queue. And there are those times that we sit in queue. And because of the way we're made, we start to panic. We start to grumble. We start to think God is not paying attention. But he is. And we're told in no uncertain terms that, look, God pays attention. You're highly esteemed. And he says, consider carefully the words I'm about to speak. Do not be afraid, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before God, your words were heard. Now that we can bank on, and that's all we need. See, the very essence, the very definition of grace is that God sees us. You understand that, right? The fact that the King even looks at us, the fact that the God of the universe thinks toward us with favor is such a profound level of grace we can never fully appreciate it. We know a God that sees us and hears us, and that counts for much. So you think about that today. In your quietness, you thank God for hearing you, for knowing you exist, for dispatching angels more times than we care to know, for making things work together for good. Why? Because He loves us. And that we can bank on.